So make yourself comfortable. Feel free to change positions. Relax. And simply being present to the totality of our experience as it is unfolding from moment to moment. These thoughts, like voices or images, pictures, these are all thoughts. The world comes out as sounds, vibration, temperature, as well as the inner body, sensations, energies, so-called feelings. So welcoming this flow of perceptions without doing anything special. Usually for most people, as we receive these instructions, most people will have trouble with its thoughts. It's a lot of thought content. Flashes from the day, or just crazy random to-do lists, memories. So the teachings about this thought is to not try to stop them or fight them. It's not about eliminating thoughts. It's not possible. It's simply seeing them without getting identified with them. If we just see them, they pop, they come up, then they are seen and they naturally collapse. If we are identifying with them, what happens is that we are taken for a ride. And we have a chain of line of thoughts and stories, and so doing the best we can to notice these suggestions of the mind, but not going into the past or the future. And each time we are taken, we can slip away right then and there, unstick, come back to what? Come back to the experience of being present to the now. It's a nice exercise that you can play with. As you notice a thought, it's already here. or you were, let's say, immersed in a thought, as soon as you notice it, to just now notice how this thought now will fade away by itself. So the exercise is to notice the fading away of thoughts. Similar to as a wave, it reaches the shore, then it flattens. So we are not trying to stop them or interrupt them. Just see that's already the case, that the thoughts fade away by themselves and merge back into wherever they arise from. And then we just are. Just this empty sense of easiness until the next thought may pop up. If the mind is really active, then do not despair. Don't beat yourself up. Just doing the best to watch. It's watching waves. And allow your attention to be unforced. Don't focus into anything in particular. Yet staying with what is, the raw data, what's arising, sounds, inner energies, sensations. So we can now include also the body. Just wanted to, at the beginning, to play with noticing thought content, but there's much more here. And usually if the mind is very busy, actually there are some energies or some feelings in the body that actually some agitation that usually is correlated with the lots of thoughts. So turn your interest towards the experience of the body and simply notice, welcome, without focusing into anything in particular, contemplating all these sensations, tensions, knots, or pleasurable, numbness, whatever. without trying to change it or understand it. If there is some sense of discomfort or unpleasantness, like some so-called anxiety or so-called depression, whatever, or other mysterious things that don't have a name. Is there any discomfort? Notice that particular area as if you are a scientist that is about to write a detailed report on these energies. Simply observing. And whatever is there, welcome it completely. That is to say, let go resisting it. So if you notice any sense of a goal, a meditation, spiritual goal, some spiritual goal, just try to the best you can to drop it. Any sense of trying to reach some special state or to get rid of something. Allowing all this inner content to be as it is. And if somebody asked you, like, hey, Joe, Eric, Jenny, are you aware right now? Am I aware? I think it's obvious for all of us, the answer will be yes. So simply notice that there is a wearing, not as a spiritual effort, but as a most natural condition. This awareing, consciousnessing is already happening in the form of hearing, sensing, perceiving. So turn your interest and curiosity towards the experience of being aware. being conscious of being. Initially, the mind is trying to figure out, like, oh, okay, let's notice this, or it's trying to look for something. But the mind, meaning attention, cannot find this presence. That's the bad news. It's invisible. The good news, it's already here, this presence. Notice this aware inner silence, which allows for these words to be heard and for these inner voices to appear. And throughout this exercise, stay knowingly as this presence that we already are. This statement doesn't actually make sense to be knowingly. We already are whatever it is which is hearing and sensing. And we are resting as what we are when we are no longer going along with fragments, going along absorbed in an image, in a sensation, being lost in what we are not. So it's almost like we are $1 billion and we are busy with some peanuts, some penny that we want to change, that is not tight anymore, the penny. Various sages, even thousands of years ago, they created this technique, which is to help us to look more towards our true identity, towards this presence. And why? Because they knew that if we are looking for fulfillment and peace, that's the direction where it lives. Fulfillment, inner peace is not in a new relationship, new job, status, whatever. So they created these questions. And these questions, they are using the mind so that the mind reaches its end. So, but the question is not meant to be answered like in school, you know, with thoughts. The question is more like a trick, a tricky trick, just to point our awareness in that direction, and that is enough. So ask yourself this question. am I aware right now? What is aware of my experience right now? If the mind says anything, that's a thought. That's not the answer. The mind doesn't know the answer. So if a thought says something, it's a thought, appears to me. What is aware of this thought? So simply asking this question, and then there can be two cases. If the mind is very busy, the mind will produce answers. But if that is the case, know that each answer is a thought, and the thought is not what is aware right now. Something else is aware of the thought. And if when we ask the question, actually the mind is quiet, that's another case, in which case we are simply staying with this seeming empty, alive empty. The different variations to these questions, the answer is actually, the idea is to have an experiential taste of that, to look in that direction. So notice sounds and ask yourself, what is aware of sounds right now? And observe how you can notice that a lot of period without thought, yet there is this isness. For some of us, this question, it may stir some mysterious sensation or something. If that is the case, we really allow this stuff and ask again the question. We are less interested in the sensation, we are interested in what is it, to whom do these sensations appear? The straight answer will be, well, me, to me. These sensations appear to me. These thoughts appear to me. Then the next question is, so don't stop there. Next question is, okay, what am I? So for new people, this is called Atma Vichara, self-investigation, self-inquiry, part of the direct path. Go straight for what is it here that is aware of all these constant thought, feeling traffic. Who am I who has all these problems? So instead of focusing on the various problems and going to therapists or to EMDR or whatever, tarot, which, you know, it's good to go and do all that. But to find out who has a problem, to whom this dissatisfaction or depression appears. Appear to me, what am I really? It's not relevant to find the right word. It's what's relevant is to look towards that which is looking. Am I these sounds, outer sounds or inner sounds? Or am I that which is aware, present to the sounds? Are we these feelings of whatever, overwhelmed, dissatisfaction, sadness? Or are we that which is simply noticing these feelings? Are we this body? Or are we that which is aware of the body? The body changed a lot, but that which perceives the body seems unchanging. So this self-inquiry, it works best to be combined with meditation, or what's so-called mindfulness. Because if we are just distracted, lost in thought, these self-inquiry questions will amount to not much. So a little bit of dropping in helps, and then we ask any of these questions. What am I? What is aware? Or to whom do these thoughts appear? What is aware of feelings? All of them, there's the same answer. And the mind wants to give it a name, and we will feel content with that. And Lao Tzu, in the first Tao Te Ching Sutra, it says, the Tao that can be told, that can be put in words, is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is the eternally real. So we use here terms like, yes, it's awareness, consciousness, or presence that we give this name to facilitate communication. But if we stay there, like, oh, what is aware? It's awareness, aware, then we stop short. So do this only if you're really interested. But I invite you to be open to this, and maybe the interest will grow. When I was introduced to this, I didn't understand this, and so I thought, well, that's weird. So I discarded it. So it needed a few more years. This is one of the questions, real questions. What am I? Then maybe it will lead to also, why am I here? What's the purpose? All right.